ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನಡೀತದೆ
ಸರ್ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ
ಹೌದಲ್ಲ ನಡೀತದೆ
ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ
ಹೌದು Good morning, my dear students. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, sir.
Okay.
Fine, sir.
Today topic is portal vein. Formation of the portal vein and its tributaries and portal anastomosis. Today's topic is portal vein. Already you know. Portal vein is an important venous channel. It is a venous channel. Portal vein is an important venous channel. It measures about 3 inches in length. It measures about 3 inches in length, which collects blood from, or 7.5 centimeters in length. Is it clear? Total length of the portal vein is 7.5 centimeters or 3 inches. It collects the blood from the abdominal and pelvic part of the alimentary tract, except the lower part of anal canal. This portal vein collects the blood from the abdominal part and pelvic part of the alimentary tract, whole of the alimentary GIT, whole of the gastrointestinal tract except the lower part of the anal canal. It also collects the blood from the gallbladder, pancreas and spleen, and it after collecting, it transports the blood to the liver. What are the features? Means what are the peculiarities of the portal vein? There are some peculiarities. You have seen so many veins. There is some difference between that vein and the portal vein. Portal vein provides about 80% of blood that flows through the liver. So 80% of the blood is supplied by the portal vein to the liver. 80% of the blood supplied to the liver is by the portal vein. Understand? Its tributaries and branches contain up to 1/3 of the total volume of blood in the entire body. Its tributaries means branches. Tributaries and the branches gives minor branches. Those are called tributaries. Tributaries and main stem of the portal vein contains up to 1/3 of the total volume of blood in the entire body. Portal vein and its tributaries are divided of walls. There are no walls. You have seen the great saphenous vein in the lower limb. It is having walls, so that the backward blood flow is prevented by the walls. So this portal vein is and its tributaries branches are not having walls, devoid of walls. Remember this point. Portal vein and its tributaries are devoid of walls. Fourth point, it transports the products of digestion of carbohydrates, proteins, and the other nutrients from intestine, and also products of red cell destruction from the spleen to the liver. You got it. Vein means always it transports the deoxygenated blood. Veins means arteries carry oxygenated blood. Veins carry deoxygenated blood. But this vein is different from other veins. The blood content of the portal vein contains the digestion of carbohydrates, digested part of the carbohydrates, proteins, and other nutrients from the intestine. Whatever digested particles from the intestine is carried by the portal vein, and also some red blood, as you know. Spleen, the main function is destruction of the red blood cells, which have completed their lifespan. That blood is from the spleen. It is transported to the liver through the portal vein. It is one of the important characteristic features, that is a differentiating point between the veins, other veins, and the portal vein. Portal vein divides into branches, which, like those of hepatic artery, discharge their blood into sinusoids of the liver. Liver already was seen. There are sinusoids. The blood is discharged into the sinusoids. Blood is discharged into the sinusoids. of the liver. Portal vein and hepatic artery. Hepatic artery also discharge the blood into the sinusoids. Similarly, the branches of the portal vein, it divides into branches which like those of the hepatic artery. Hepatic artery divides into right and left branch. Portal vein also divides into right and left branch. Right branch goes to the right lobe of liver, left goes to the left lobe of liver, and these branches discharge the blood into the sinusoids of the liver, which are drained by the hepatic veins into those sinusoids are drained by the venous blood is drained by the hepatic veins. These hepatic veins are directly open to inferior vena cava. This point is very important. Hepatic veins opens directly into inferior vena cava, and that's why the liver is held in its position. Liver is so much heaviest organ, because the hepatic veins drains the venous blood, which open directly into inferior vena cava. Now, portal vein begins like a vein from the capillary bed of the gut. It begins like a vein from the capillary bed of the gut. Gut is having capillaries. So those capillaries unite to form the main vein, and terminates and likely artery in the hepatic synapses. It begins like a vein. Portal vein begins like a vein by the capillary bed of the gut and terminates like an artery in the hepatic sinusoids. These are the few important means distinguished features from other veins and the hepatic vein. Is it clear? Now, coming
Yes,
to the
sir.
formation, course and branches. How it is formed? What is its course and branches? Hepatic vein is portal vein is mainly formed by the vein is formed behind the neck of the pancreas. Remember this point. The portal vein is formed behind the neck of the posterior aspect of the neck of the pancreas by the union of superior mesenteric vein and the splenic vein at the level of a lumbar second vertebra. What is the level of formation of the portal vein? It formed at the level of lumbar second vertebra by the union of a splenic vein and superior mesenteric vein. These two veins join behind the posterior aspect of the neck of the pancreas. After formation, it runs upwards and little to the right. After formation, it runs upwards and little to the right behind the neck of pancreas. First, that is the first point. Second, then it ascends. After passing the posterior aspect of the neck of the pancreas, it ascends posterior to the first part of the duodenum. That is, but after pass neck of the pancreas, it ascends and passes behind the posterior aspect of the first part of the duodenum. Then it enters the right free edge of the lesser omentum. It enters into the right free edge of the lesser omentum. It ends in the ends. The portal vein ends in the right end of the porta hepatis. Already you have seen porta hepatis is a gate where the structures enters and come out from the liver. That is called as the porta hepatis. The portal vein ends near the right end of porta hepatis by dividing into left branch and a right branch. Understand? This is the course of the portal vein. Total length is 7.5 centimeters or 3 inches. So formation is by superior mesenteric vein and splenic vein behind the neck of the pancreas. Then it ascends upwards and little to the right. First point is behind the neck of pancreas. Second is behind the first part of the duodenum. Third point is within the free margin of right omentum. And finally it ends by dividing into right and left branch near the right end of the porta hepatis. Branches. Right branch and left branch, as I told. Right branch is shorter and wider. Right branch is shorter and wider and enters the right lobe of liver after receiving the cystic vein. It receives cystic vein and enters the liver. Near the right end of porta hepatis, the portal vein divides into a right branch and left branch. Right branch is short and little bit wide. It is shorter and wider and enters the right lobe of liver. Liver is divided into right and left lobe. So it enters the right lobe of liver after it receives the cystic vein and enters into the right lobe of liver. Whereas left branch is longer and narrower. Left branch of portal vein is longer, narrower and longer. It passes to the left end of porta hepatis, giving branches to the caudate and caudate lobe. It passes to the left lobe of liver and gives branches to the caudate and caudate lobe. Then unites with the ligamentum teres and ligamentum venosum. Receives parumbilical veins which run within the ligamentum teres in the pulsiform ligament before entering the left lobe of liver. So this is the formation and relation of the portal vein. This is the blue color is the superior mesenteric vein, which passes in front of the third part of duodenum and first that is head of the pancreas and passes behind the neck of the pancreas. This is dotted line. What you are saying? This is a superior splenic vein. That is splenic vein, which comes from the spleen. The venous blood of the spleen is drained by splenic vein and this is superior mesenteric vein. Both these veins join behind the neck of the pancreas and this is the formation of the portal vein. This is the formation of the portal vein. Is it clear? These two veins unites behind the neck of the pancreas and forms the portal vein. This is the formation of the portal vein. The length of the portal vein is 7.5 centimeters. First part is behind the neck of pancreas. Second part is behind the first part of the duodenum. Third part is in the right free margin of lesser omentum. This is the inferior vena cava and a portal vein. The portal vein lies in front of inferior vena cava. This is splenic vein. This is pancreas. So this is tail of the tail and body of the pancreas. This part is the neck of the pancreas. This is the head of the pancreas. This is duodenum. First part of duodenum, second part of duodenum, third and fourth part of duodenum. So this is the formation of the portal vein. And these are the tributaries. Inferior mesenteric vein, superior mesenteric vein. This one. Parts and relations. Already we have seen the parts. For the purpose of description, the portal vein is divided into three parts. One is infraduodenum. Infra means below. Below the duodenum is called infraduodenum part, which lies behind the neck of the pancreas, which lies below the first part of the duodenum. Infraduodenum part is the part which lies behind the first part of the duodenum. Retroduodenum part which lies posterior to the first part of duodenum. And supraduodenum part which lies above the first part of the duodenum in the right free margin of lesser omentum. Is it clear? These are the three parts of the portal vein. Infraduodenal, retroduodenal and supraduodenal. Infra means below, retro means behind, supra means above the duodenum. Infraduodenum part which lies below the first of duodenum. Retro means which lies posterior to the first part of the duodenum. Supra means which lies above the first part of the duodenum in the right free margin of lesser omentum. Now, relations of different parts of the portal vein are as follows. Relations. First one is infraduodenal part, that is below the duodenum. Anteriorly, it is related to neck of pancreas. Anteriorly, the portal vein is related to neck of pancreas. Posteriorly, it is related to inferior vena cava. Understand? This is the relation of the infraduodenal part below the duodenum. First part. Anteriorly, the portal vein is related to neck of pancreas. Posteriorly, it is related to inferior vena cava. Second part is retroduodenum. As I told, retro means behind the duodenum. So anteriorly, it is related to first part of duodenum. Second structure is bile duct. Third is gastroduodenal artery. These three structures anteriorly related to retroduodenal part of the portal vein. That is, first it is related to, first point is it is related to first part of duodenum. Second one is bile duct. Third one is gastroduodenal artery. Posteriorly again it is related to inferior vena cava. Posteriorly it is related to inferior vena cava. Okay. These are the relations of the retroduodenal part. These are the relations of the retroduodenal part. Anteriorly, it is related to first part of duodenum, bile duct and gastroduodenal artery. Posteriorly, inferior vena cava. Supra means above the duodenum. So anteriorly, it is related to hepatic artery on the left side. On the bile duct on the right side. Remember this. Supraduodenal means above the duodenum. Anteriorly, hepatic artery is related to right of the portal vein, whereas the bile duct is related on the hepatic artery on the left side. Anteriorly, portal vein, supraduodenal part of the portal vein, anteriorly it is related to hepatic artery on the left side, whereas bile duct on the right side, and posteriorly same inferior vena cava. These are the parts of the portal vein. These course and parts of the portal vein. So the formation already we have seen. Formation we have seen. This is the formation of the portal vein. This is the infraduodenal part, which is present below the duodenum. This is retroduodenal part. This is supraduodenal part, and these are the branches at the porta hepatis of the liver. Right, as I told, right is a short branch and wider, whereas left branch is a little bit narrower and longer. Tributaries. What are the main receives the following tributaries? It receives the veins. Tributaries means the small veins are opening into the main stem of the portal vein. First one is splenic vein, a large formative tributary. It is a large vein, which is the formative tributary of the portal vein. So, splenic vein drains the venous blood from the spleen. Understand? Splenic vein drains the venous blood from the spleen. So, splenic vein is larger formative tributary. Second is superior mesenteric vein, smaller formative tributary. It receives the venous blood from the midgut. Superior mesenteric vein, it receives the blood from the this one midgut, and it is a small formative vein. These two veins only join to form the portal vein. Next tributary is superior pancreatic duodenal vein. Joins the portal vein behind the first part of the duodenum. Superior pancreatic duodenal vein joins the portal vein behind the first part of the duodenum. Superior pancreatic duodenal artery which supplies which organ? Yes. Hello.
Sure. Sir.
Superior pancreas. What is the blood supply to pancreas? Head of the pancreas is supplied by what?
Superior and inferior pancreatic or duodenal
Artery. Those are the branches of
common hepatic artery.
So one along with the superior pancreatic duodenal artery, there is a vein which drains the venous blood from the pancreas. That is superior pancreatic duodenal vein. Joins the portal vein behind the first part of the duodenum. So that is also one of the tributaries. Then the left and right gastric vein join the portal vein. The right join the portal vein. The right free margin of the lesser omentum. Left gastric vein of the cardiac end, it receives the blood, venous blood from the cardiac end of the stomach, receives a few esophageal veins from the lower end of the esophagus. The right gastric vein receives the prepyloric vein of Mayo. That is pyloric end of the stomach. Right gastric vein drains the venous blood from the pyloric part of the stomach. Cardiac end of the stomach, venous blood is drained by left gastric vein. Right gastric vein drains the venous blood from the pyloric part of the stomach, along with the prepyloric vein of Mayo, which runs vertically in front of the pylorus. Fifth tributary, that is cystic vein. Cystic vein joins the right branch of the portal vein before it enters into the right lobe of liver. That, as I told, the right branch is short. It enters the before entering. It receives a tributary, that is cystic vein. Joins the right branch of the portal vein before it enters the right lobe of liver. Then the sixth tributary are the paraumbilical veins, or small veins that run along the ligamentum teres in the falciform ligament and joins the left branch of the portal vein before it enters the left lobe of liver. Paraumbilical veins are small veins that run along the ligamentum teres in the falciform ligament and join the left branch of the portal vein before it enters the left lobe of liver. These are the tributaries of the portal vein. These are the tributaries. This is the right gastric vein. This is right gastric vein, left gastric vein. This is superior pancreatitis. This is cystic vein. This is inferior mesenteric vein. So these are the various. So this is ligamentum teres. This is a paraumbilical vein. So these are the tributaries of the portal vein. Now, coming to the most important thing, that is portocaval anastomosis. Portocaval anastomosis is nothing but the anastomosis between the tributaries of the portal vein and the systemic veins. Understand, portocaval anastomosis is anastomosis between the tributaries of the portal vein and the tributaries or branches of the systemic veins. In the body, there are some sites where there is anastomosis between the portal venous system and the systemic venous system. So this anastomosis is called as portocaval or portosystemic anastomosis. There are many sites in the abdominal cavity where anastomosis exists between the portal and systemic venous systems. You remember this point. Portocaval anastomosis is a short note. Portocaval anastomosis is a short note. There are many sites in the abdominal cavity where anastomosis exists between the portal and systemic venous system. These communication between the veins of the portal and cable means portal veins, portal and systemic veins form an important route of collateral circulation in the cases of portal obstruction. Whenever there is an obstruction, it needs a collateral circulation that is done by the portocaval anastomosis. These communications between the veins of the portal and systemic systems form an important routes of collateral circulation in cases of portal obstruction. The important sites of portocaval, there are some sites where there is anastomosis between the systemic and the portal vein system in the body. The first important site of portocaval anastomosis are as follows. First is umbilicus, around the umbilicus. Umbilicus is site for portocaval anastomosis. Here the left branch of the portal vein. Here the left branch of the portal vein communicates with the superficial veins of the anterior abdominal wall around the umbilicus through the paraumbilical veins. That is called veins of Sappi. In portal obstruction, the superficial veins around the umbilicus become distended and tortuous. That is called varicosity. Got the point? Around the umbilicus, the portal vein, that is left branch of the portal vein, anastomosis with the superficial branches of the anterior abdominal wall. Superficial veins of the anterior abdominal wall around the umbilicus. Around the umbilicus, superficial branches through the paraumbilical veins. The portal obstruction superficial vein around the umbilicus become distended and tortuous. So this is the first site of portocaval anastomosis. What are sites means? First site, very important site is around the umbilicus. This whorl of prominent, distended, tortuous, snake-like veins around the umbilicus is known as caput medusa. These veins become dilated in portal obstruction. In conditions like portal obstruction, there is a distension of these veins, and these veins they radiate from the umbilicus as the rays of a rising sun. That sun is called as a caput medusa, sign of diagnostic value to the clinicians. So this diagnostic sign is seen in cirrhosis of liver. Cirrhosis of liver is the common cause for the portal obstruction. Means there is a blockage or increase in the portal venous pressure. So that in during that condition, there is a distension of the abdomen. There is a collection of the fluid in the abdominal cavity. That is called as ascites. That condition is called ascites. The abdomen is very much enlarged and distended because of collection of fluid in the peritoneal cavity. Along with this, there is the veins around the umbilicus become tortuous and enlarged, dilated. So this sign is called as a caput medusa. Second site of portacal anastomosis is lower end of esophagus. Lower end of esophagus. Here the esophageal tributaries of left gastric vein. Here the esophageal tributaries of left gastric vein draining into the portal vein. Anastomosis with the esophageal tributaries of accessory hemiesophagus vein. Understand what are the veins anastomos? One is the tributaries of the left gastric vein. Tributaries of left gastric vein anastomos with the tributaries of hemiesophagus vein. Esophageal tributaries of accessory hemiesophagus vein. In portal obstruction, as in liver cirrhosis, these collateral channels become distended and tortuous. There again in the esophagus, also in lower end of the esophagus, the veins anastomos. In portal obstruction or increased portal pressure, in conditions like portal hypertension, these veins also become dilated and tortuous. They become enlarged and tortuous, forming esophageal varices. That condition is called as a esophageal varices, which may sometimes rupture, causing hematemesis. Hematemesis is nothing but vomiting of blood and even bleeding to death. Understand? So these are the very diagnostic signs for the clinicians that they're indicating patient is having cirrhosis of liver. Cirrhosis of liver, patient will have ascites, collection of fluid, caput medusa. There is the esophageal varices, dilatation of veins, anastomosing veins between the portal and systemic veins, which may rupture, causing hematemesis and even bleeding and death. So this is the second site of portacal anastomosis. Third site is the lower end of the anal canal. One is at the esophagus. Second site in the gastrointestinal tract is the lower end of the anal canal. Here the superior rectal vein, which ultimately drains into the portal vein. Superior mesenteric vein, superior rectal vein. Superior rectal vein, which ultimately drain into the portal vein. Anastomos with the middle and inferior rectal veins. Superior rectal vein, which ultimately drains into portal vein, which anastomos with the middle and inferior rectal veins, the tributaries of internal iliac vein. So these in portal hypertension, these veins also dilate and tortuous. These veins also in portal hypertension, these veins also become dilate and tortuous. That condition is called as a hemorrhoids. It is called as hemorrhoids. Commonly we call it as a piles. So sometimes again there is a oozing of the blood during act of defecation. So this is called as the piles or hemorrhoids. So this is third site for the portacal anastomosis. Distension and dilatation of these anastomotic channels. Distension and dilatation of these anastomotic channels result in formation of hemorrhoids. As I told, the condition is called hemorrhoids, or commonly we call it as piles, which may be responsible for repeated bleeding per rectum or per annum. There is a bleeding during the act of defecation. So this is third site for portacal anastomosis. First one is umbilicus. Second one is lower end of the esophagus. Third is lower end of the anal canal. Now, fourth site, extraperitoneal surface of retroperitoneal organs. Extraperitoneal surfaces of retroperitoneal organs. Veins of retroperitoneal organs such as the duodenum, As you know, duodenum is the retroperitoneum, ascending colon and descending colon. Anastomose with the retroperitoneal veins of the posterior abdominal wall and renal capsule. Those are systemic veins. Retroperitoneal veins of the posterior abdominal wall and renal capsule are the systemic veins. Where retroperitoneal organs, veins of extraperitoneal organs such as duodenum, ascending colon, and descending colon are the portal. So, again, there is a renal vein, anastomose with the splenic vein and azygous vein. Renal vein, anastomose with the splenic and azygous vein. So, this is the fourth site. Fifth site is bare area of liver. Here the hepatic venules, anastomose with the phrenic and intercostal veins. Those are systemic veins. Already we know what is bare area of liver. The area which are not covered by peritoneum are called as bare area of liver. Here the hepatic venules, anastomose with phrenic and intercostal veins. So this is the fifth site of portocal anastomosis. So these are the sites of portocal anastomosis. Esophageal tributaries of excess hemorrhagic vein. Phrenic esophageal branches of left gastric vein. So lower end of esophagus, lower end of anal canal, lower end of anal canal. This is the site. Upper end of the esophagus, near around the umbilicus. Superficial veins of the anterior abdominal. This is the umbilicus. Around the umbilicus, there is the anastomosis. So these are between parambilical veins of the anterior abdominal. First site is umbilicus. Second one is lower end of the esophagus. Third one is anal canal. Fourth one is the extraperitoneal. That is retroperitoneal organs. Duodenum, ascending colon, and descending colon, anastomosis with the retroperitoneal organs of the organs like renal capsule, posterior abdominal wall, and the renal capsule. So fifth site is bare area of the liver. This diagram is showing the sites for portocal anastomosis. One is umbilicus, lower end of esophagus, anal canal, bare area of liver, and the entire aspect of the kidney. These are the some sites of anastomosis. Lower end of esophagus, left gastric vein joins anastomosis, the esophageal veins draining into azygous vein. So esophageal clinical sign is esophageal varices. Umbilicus is parambilical vein, anastomosis with superficial veins of the anterior abdominal. That is called as caput medusa. Lower and mid anal canal. Superior rectal vein, anastomosis of mid and inferior rectal veins. That is a clinical condition is called as a hemorrhoids. So these are the sites and along with the clinical importance of the portocal anastomos. Portocal anastomosis is nothing but anastomosis between the venous and portal venous system. Now coming to some applied aspect of portal vein, portal vein. One is the portal vein, as you know, normal portal veins pressure is 5 to 7 mmHg. More than this is called as portal hypertension. More than this is called as a portal hypertension. Portal hypertension is may be due to because of causes of liver, that is cirrhosis of liver and conditions related to liver. And second cause of is obstruction in the course of the portal vein, that is leads to portal obstruction. When there is a portal obstruction, these sites open and they establish colorectal circulation. And in portal, this one leads to dilatation and varicosity of the veins and leads to various clinical signs. Understand? Now it leads to various clinical signs. So important thing is caput medusa. Esophageal varices. It leads to hematemesis. Then anal canal, that is the hemorrhoids, which leads to bleeding per rectum during the act of defecation. So these are the various signs of portocaval obstruction or portocaval hypertension. portal venous hypertension. Portal vein hypertension. Okay. So these are the signs. Whenever the patient comes with the distension of the abdomen with caput medulla around the umbilicus is directly you can diagnose the patient is having cirrhosis of liver. The fluid goes on collecting the peritoneal cavity. So that is called as a ascites. The condition is called as ascites. And the veins around the umbilicus become dilated and enlarged. They run. It gives a resemblance like a rays of a rising sun. So that sign is called as the caput medulla. Okay. And this portal vein may come as a long question. Describe the formation, course, and tributaries of the portal vein. Course relations of the portal vein. Add a note on portal anastomosis. Add a note on the portal anastomosis. Okay. So this is the main question. Or sometimes only portal anastomosis may come as a short note. You remember the features of the portal vein, how the portal vein differs from the other veins. There are so many veins. There is the great saphenous vein, inferior vena, superior vena, and this vein differs from other veins by the following points. Being a vein, it supplies 80% of blood to the liver. Portal vein supplies 80% of blood to the liver, and 20% is by the hepatic artery. As I told, it drains the venous blood from the intestine. It mainly drains the blood from the intestine. It drains the blood from the abdominal part and pelvic part of the ventral tract, except the lower end of the lower part of the anal canal. Second, it also drains the blood from the gallbladder, pancreas, and spleen, and it transports this blood to the liver. The content of the blood, it transports the production of digested food, that is carbohydrates, proteins, and other nutrients from the intestine, and also products of red cell destruction from the spleen to the liver. Hence, in these ways, this portal vein differs from the hepatic vein. It means systemic veins. It differs from the systemic veins. Understand? And it is very short. Some only it measures 7.5 centimeters in course length. First part is behind the neck of pancreas. Second part is behind the first part of duodenum. Third part is present in the right frame margin of left segment. Okay. Remember the sites of portal anastomosis. Remember the sites. Common question. What are the sites for portal anastomosis? One is umbilicus. Second one is lower interface anal canal. Extraperitoneal surface of retroperitoneal organs and bare area of the liver. And these are the various clinical signs of the portal hypertension. One is it can lead to esophageal varices. Some in continued condition or in untreated case, it leads to vomiting of blood. That is called a hematemesis. Caput and hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids may lead to bleeding per rectum during the act of defecation. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Come on.